Hey man, if you're into Power BI, this is your channel. Like, subscribe, turn on that alarm bell, leave comments, interact with the community. So feeds the logarithm and it supports the channel. Do the right thing, man. Subscribe today. Peace. Hey, welcome everyone to the live stream. Today I have a very, very special guest. I am here with Amir Netz. Amir, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. Can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure, I'm Amir Netz. I'm a technical fellow at Microsoft. I'm the CDO of the analytics groups. Analytics means data lakes, data warehousing, data integration, data science, data engineering, business intelligence, and I think one more thing that I forgot.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on?
I know more than you.
All right.
So I've been at Microsoft for 26 years. I think many of the people that are watching us probably know me as working for many years at Microsoft on business intelligence. Power BI is a big baby of mine. So kind of, we're growing and still love Power BI. We talk about that or other things. Chris?
A funny little story. The first time we met, we were at a Microsoft conference, and one of those you go through the line and you get some food and you sit down at a table, and I sat down at an empty table, and then you came up and you said, "Hey, can I sit with you?" And I thought it was just some random guy at the conference. I'm like, sure, you sit down, and we started talking, we went back and forth. And then you said, well, I've got to go to my next session. And I thought, well, that's odd because it's a while to the next session. And all right, and you left, and I go to the next session, and then you get up on stage and you talk in front of everyone. So that was my our introduction. Is I didn't know who you were, and I thank you for being such a sociable and an open person to talking about this stuff.
How many years ago was it, Chris? Do you know?
Oh my gosh, I think we're approaching 10 years now.
The journey in the last 10 years.
Holy cow, it really has been. Where we were, right, and where we are today is very, very different, right? At the time, I actually ran a Tableau platform. When I saw Power BI is when I switched. I abandoned it to move over because I saw the integration of the tooling, because okay, visuals are one thing, and I'm really glad Miguel is really, and Microsoft is investing in that. That's awesome. But the integration points to the capabilities that you're building out span beyond the analytics space. So, yeah, I just absolutely love that for this. So thank you for that. Now, we're rapidly changing. The people who work in data, these jobs are rapidly evolving, and the enablement and the versioning of citizen developers is springing up all across these organizations, and a lot of people are really struggling to understand where their roles are and how do they manage this inside their organization. What kind of insights can you give us on the way you see data jobs evolving and shaping up inside of companies?
So I think that first of all, we are in a period of massive change, and some of it all of it is driven by technology in many ways. I think that first of all, the separation between the people who are in IT and are professionals and the people who sit in the business and are kind of more power users, this separation is going to gradually diminish. I think there is so much that each group can give to the other group. The people of the business really know the business. They really know what you need. The people from IT knows the technology. And I think that we bring them together I think you'll see that the platform that are going to already emerging, if you even look at Power BI today, is really bringing IT and business together to a single platform to work in a collaboration. And I think what you're seeing in BI will expand to the other data roles. It will be in data warehousing, it will be in data science, it will be in data engineering, it will be in data integration. You'll see a single platform that really caters to the spectrum of the users from the business side and all the way to the IT side, and you don't sacrifice security and compliance. You don't sacrifice the power of the tools, but you make everything easy, and you make collaboration easy, and you make the ability to deliver very fast value very easy. So I think that you'll see infusion here where people from the business will become more and more professionals and people from IT will become more and more low-code users in some ways. And that's a great thing. That's a wonderful thing. I think the other thing that is happening, and we all kind of staring the future with big question mark in our eyes and say, this whole large language model, GTP, ChatGTP, what does it do for us? How is it going to affect our productivity? What can we do that we couldn't have done before? And it's pretty astonishing when you just look at the kind of example we're seeing today. I don't know if you know, for example, but just talking about the world of coding, and I think it will be true for data as well. But in Tesla, the lead developer that builds all the AI for the self-service driving, he's using right now the Copilot of GTP, and I think he said something like 75% of his code is written by the AI, which is insane. Like, this is top of the line developer. Now, can you imagine what it can do for somebody who's even less qualified than somebody like that? And I think that I can tell you, I was working with our marketing team on some branding question, and we had some kind of a name for a product we had in mind. And I went to ChatGPT and said, what do you think about that brand name for the product we are thinking about? And he gave me a wonderful answer. I just copy pasted into my slide and said, that's the best justification I can have for that name. It's pretty incredible how much productivity we're getting. And going back closer to home to Power BI, we are already working on ChatGPT or GPT-based models to just write the DAX for you. DAX is very powerful, but not necessarily the easiest language in the world. And you can actually ask it in natural language to create the measures for you or queries for you, and it will actually create those DAX, and it will even be able to explain to you why the expression looks the way it looks. It's pretty incredible. It's science fiction.
Well, frankly, okay, I guess it's a little off topic, but that is something that I really want to see to go along with any DAX auto generator is why is it doing what it's doing? Because I think my biggest fear is, going back to like the housing bubble burst in like the early 2000s, that the root of that was a consultant wrote an Excel formula wrong, right? Like, oh my gosh, what could we be doing wrong if people don't know what this code does? But if we can leverage these new AI tools to explain what's going on, then we can see, if the code is right, and we could get a much better understanding of that.
And this is the thing that is so fascinating with this new technology of GTP and large language model, is it's not just automating things that you wanted to automate. It's actually like having an expert sitting next to you. That expert read all the books in the world, all the papers in the world, all the websites in the world, and now you can ask the expert's question. You can even argue with the expert. How about we do it this way? You can tell it's a good idea or a bad idea, or you can tell that's a wonderful idea. Actually, let's try it out. And it's very conversational. It's very opinionated. It's also fallible. It can actually make mistakes. So you want to really verify that it's actually telling you something that is actually accurate. And just like any other expert, it's not perfect, but it's good. It's excellent. Okay.
I mean, what's the old thing about, like, I know art when I see it, like, a real change in tech is coming. And I think the world saw that with ChatGPT. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that as this tech evolves, we're going to be seeing the high-end developers and your day one developers or people in the business are going to be brought together by tools like low-code, no-code platforms, like new AIs. Is that?
We have to. We absolutely have to. We have to. Look, IT professions are always been a bottleneck. The business cannot just wait for IT to create a project for them. So business has to have the power to be agile. And the lower the bar of entry is getting in terms of both the cost and the knowledge that you have to have, the more the business can empower itself. But of course, the business doesn't necessarily know how to create a highly compliant system or highly reliable system or highly secure system. And this is where IT comes in and can make sure that you don't do things that are wrong or stupid, like loading credit card numbers into some data set that everybody can access, right?
Right.
So you have, and so I think a lot of the role of IT will also evolve into, let's make sure that we have the policies in place and the enforcement of the policies in place, and making sure that we kind of track what people are doing, and it's a little like a regulator that is making sure that as long as you are staying within, you're painting within the lines, go ahead. And the moment you go outside the lines, we'll correct you.
Right.
And so I think you'll see much more of that oversight role that says, yeah, we'll just let the business party as long as they are doing everything in a healthy way. And then, of course, there's always the massive project, the big central data warehouse, the big mission critical system that needs to have a super smart AI. You're not going to let the Excel jockeys to write it for you. You need somebody who knows what they're doing and have experience. So it's going to be a mixture of, but they're all going to work together. And it's not going to be, you're not going to be silos. This is the IT silo, this is the business silo. They have to work together. They have to collaborate, and each one has to bring its own value to the table.
Well, and I think the thing that I really liked about Power BI and the new tools that we're starting to work with, it's a common platform and a common code base. So that individual user who's just getting started in building something is really on the same tech stack as that advanced enterprise user, right? So that if they have a brilliant idea, it can scale and grow at, like as large as necessary, right?
And this is kind of one of the hallmarks for me of a great product, and I always try to strive as we design the product to kind of meet that criteria. I have one of the most beloved products of all time is Excel. And one of my best friends used to run the Excel team, and he told me a story about how he did a customer visits in Wall Street, and he was sitting with some hedge fund manager, and they were talking about the roadmap of Excel, and and the hedge fund manager just at the end of the meeting, as they was finishing drinking their coffee, and my friend was about to leave, he said, I just have a question for you. He said, how come I'm using Excel and I'm really rolling billions and billions of dollars of investment decisions on Excel? My wife is using Excel to make our Christmas shopping lists. How can it be that we're using the same product? And for me, that's a statement of a great product. A product could be as easy as you can make the Christmas shopping list, or as sophisticated as running billions of dollars of investment decisions on it. That's really is really capturing the full spectrum. And we really want Power BI and all of our data products to really be able to do the same. Super, super easy. Office-like usability. If you're just starting and all you care about is creating a couple of charts and slicing and dicing data, or you wanted to create the largest enterprise system where tens of thousands of users consuming those reports, it's the same stack. It's just a level of how deep you go into the feature pool and how much expertise you bother to acquire on the product. That's going to be the difference, rather than you really need different products.
I love that. So I get goosebumps thinking about the possibilities of the next generation of IT workers, and just as my friend Len Davis used to always say, there's no IT in Star Trek. Right. So as we go to the IT-less world, right, and that future Star Trek world, I'm so excited because we can see that coming with this tooling, and I'm very pumped about that. What types of specializations do you see people starting to navigate to in the future, or do you see the end of specialization? How do you see that working and unfolding as people start to look at that next gen of technology?
So I think that it will be both. It will be both specialization and generalization. People will choose their journey. So on one hand, I think that there's going to be convergence of all the data technologies, whether it's business intelligence or data warehousing or data engineering or data science. You will not have silos of tools. I think that there's an understanding that each one of those pieces is very important to the total solution of the organization, the total architecture of the information architecture of the organization, and creating isolated stacks is really counterproductive because you constantly have to integrate them and to wire them, and it's just a lot of hard work. So I think you'll see the stacks starting to converge into a very unified set of technologies. Each still you have data science and you still have data engineering, still have BI, but they will be designed to work together rather than right now they're designed in isolation, number one. So you'll find that a lot of people, once those integrated environments start showing up, they'll say, hey, I don't have to be just a BI person, or I don't have to be just a data science person, or I don't have to be just a data engineering person, and so forth. I can actually master multiple technologies at the same time, because it's really just feeling like I'm just expanding the set of feature I master in that holistic environment, that complete environment. That's one. On the other hand, you're going to have experts. They're always going to be the expert. An expert that says, I know about yes, everybody can do basic data science and train a basic model, but if you really want to bet billions of dollars on that machine learning model, better call me, because I can get every ounce of accuracy from the model. I've seen many of them in the past. I know how to do them the best way. I know all the traps and pitfalls and so forth. So they're always going to be the expert that takes one of those technologies that says, I'm not I'm not a mile wide and an inch deep. I am actually an inch wide and mile deep. And both are required, and both are awesome. And I think I think people will find where they are on that spectrum of how much did I master versus what is the depth I bothered to acquire in each one of those technologies. So we'll see both.
Oh, I think that's absolutely great. And as people look at that, a paradigm I've really liked is you have your enterprise or your masters, and then you have your citizen developers, and then you have like just your masses, right? So like it's a progression. Does that align with what you're seeing and the way people are talking about this?
Yeah, the thing that I really like about a lot of the dynamics, the thing that personally gives me a huge amount of gratification, is to see people who started with the masses. They were in the masses and decided to, hey, I see Power BI, and that's an opportunity for me to do something special, to really propel my career to a different level. I'll be the propeller head in my department that knows everything that there is to know about Power BI. And I'll start building the reports for other people in my department. And then at some point I'll start, the reports will get to my division manager and eventually to the CEO. And at some point I'll move to IT because I became one of those experts. And at some point I'll become a consultant like Chris Wagner, that did the Similar Journey, I think, right? So. Whoa. And that's beautiful for me. That's beautiful for me because we created a technology that allowed people to really elevate themselves from where they were before and create new opportunities for themselves and find themselves in a much better place compared to the old, boring trajectory they had before. So I think we'll see that. We are seeing it all the time. We are absolutely seeing it all the time. And as data is becoming, one of the things that our CEO, Satya Nadella, is saying is, every company becoming a tech company, okay? It used to be that you have companies like Microsoft and Oracle and IBM that were tech companies, and you had companies like Mercedes-Benz, who was a car company, right? Or you have Schlumberger, who was an energy company. But today, all of these companies are tech companies. How can you build a car without having massive knowledge of data and technology and so forth? And everything is connected. The data is valued so much. Same thing with energy. So everybody requires to have the same skills that 20 years ago only Microsoft and Oracle used to have. Now you need it in virtually every industry. So the more we make things easier for companies to really take advantage of technology, take advantage of data, we are helping them to close the talent gap. We just don't have enough people who are experts today. And probably will never have enough people that are experts today. So just make it easier. And we make it easier by making the technology easier, by making the integration easier, and we're bringing technologies like ChatGPT that really helps you also to just make everything faster, more productive.
Yeah, and And I think that is the big deciding factor is how easy it is to use as well as that integration. People often miss on how difficult or complex those integration points are. And honestly, I don't miss having to do that. And I really enjoy working inside of the Microsoft stack because of that, because it's all integrated, because the image I always think of is an oven, right? Like you need to bake something, no problem. You need to broil something, you got it. You want to fry it, you want to do anything, you want to prepare food, an oven does it, right? Like that's what we're talking about when it comes to data is you're saying no longer is it going to be one tool, it's going to be a broad set of tools that's easy for anyone to access. And it's not just data, but it's the whole cloud, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Integration is huge. Like every time we integrate something, it changes society in some ways. It changes certainly marketplaces. Like think about one of the most famous integration of all time was when Word, Excel, and PowerPoint became Office. And think about how the market was. I will old enough to remember that people chose between Excel and Lotus 123. And then integration came, and that's so nobody cared the individual feature of a spreadsheet anymore. But the integration is so important, so overwhelmingly productive. So
I found I have an Office pin. I was actually in SMB sales when Office rolled out when they merged them, and I found a pin the other day from the launch. Oh man. Yeah, it changed the way people talk because they weren't talking about this, or that. It was, hey, we can use one unified tooling, change the way everyone in the company interacted and worked together. It was amazing.
And that's exactly it. And so integration is one of the most powerful forces in the world of technology. And sometimes we forget it. Sometimes we just, we see this startup doing this piece of the stack and that other startup does another piece of the stack. And it's looking pretty cool. And there's a lot of very innovative people. And I love seeing the kind of thought process the industry going through. But at the end of the day, those isolated pieces are just it's going to be very hard for customers to really put them together compared to just an integrated environment that just does everything for you. Because wiring is hard. Wiring is absolutely hard.
That's amazing. Now, so you've talked about tooling coming together. You've talked about people and skilling come together. What about in enterprises of all sizes? What are they supposed to do as these tools are coming out and these changes are starting to come to their world faster than they're might be prepared to handle?
There is always going to be an element of change management as technology evolves. And it is just inevitable. I was just watching with the kids 9 to 5. Remember that movie 9 to 5 with Melanie Griffith and what's her name? The country singer. She's getting old.
Dolly Parton. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. 9 to 5, and just look at that office settings. It wasn't so long ago, that movie, right? You look at the office setting, and every manager has a secretary to type in their letters, right?
Yeah.
It used to be a secretary. That was a job. That was one of the most common jobs. It used to be a secretary per manager. Everybody has secretary. There was a secretary pool. It's gone, right? Technology happened. You don't use typewriters anymore. You use word processors and emails, and the whole profession disappeared. Now, does it mean that we have now millions of secretaries sitting at home? No, we just adjusted.
Right.
Without doing something else. And so there is a change. Some things will not be needed anymore. Some things you can replace one person with great tooling, doing the job of 3 people, and that's what we call productivity. But on the other hand, those 3 people now will be doing many other things. Maybe each one of them doing more and filling up more demand. It's a good thing. Productivity is a great thing. But so there will be changes. People will have to learn new skills. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's you say I'm just maybe a bit too old to learn new skills. But I think change is also gradual. Even if they're fast, they're still gradual. It's not happening overnight. Yes, but organization will have to adjust. People will have to adjust. We're all going to go through the journey. We have been on that journey. The world of today is very different than the world of 20 years ago and the world of 40 years ago. And we all been on this continuous journey. It feels like it's kind of accelerating over the last couple of years. But it's still a journey. And as we go through the journey, we'll learn. Nobody can tell you how the future is going to look like. All we know is change is inevitable. Change is the only constant we're going to have. And as it happens, we constantly look at, we constantly morph the world around us to fit the change. And it's just going to happen.
I would like to thank you for helping create that future and knowing that you and all the people on your team are going to be out there, not just creating the future, but walking hand in hand with your partners and with the people of this world as we evolve and we adapt to implement this new technology. So, Amir, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for coming on my show. I really do appreciate that. Do you have anything you'd like to say for viewers before we let you run off and build the future?
Look, first of all, thank you. It's been a pleasure, Chris. It's really always fun chatting with you, and you can probably see from my demeanor what's happening right now, what I'm working on, what's happening in the company, what's happening in the world is super exciting. It's some of the most fundamental changes in the world of data, in the world of technology, are just happening right now, and it's what a time to be alive. That would be probably my parting statement.
All right, Amir. Well, thank you so very much for taking time to join us today. We really appreciate it. And to all my viewers, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us. If you have questions, leave comments down below. Put them in the chat. We're happy to connect and talk back and go answer any questions you have. So thank you guys very much. Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.